what's up, you guys? I'm Colin Costello. Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about Workhorse Stock. If you guys are new to the channel, what we do on this channel, we talk about ways to make your money work and grow over time. So if that's something that you'd like to do, then hit that subscribe button down below. So in the video, we'll talk about Workhorse. We'll talk about my short-term predictions. I'll show you what I bought my first shares of Workhorse at. And we'll talk about what I think this company will do in the long term. With that being said, you guys, I'm not a financial advisor by any means, and these are for fun and educational purposes only, so please do your own research. Now, let's talk about Workhorse and where I think it's going in the short term, also what I think of this investment over the long term. Let's get into the video. For those of you that don't know much about Workhorse, Workhorse is an electric vehicle company focused on last mile delivery. They also own the patent on drone delivery from a truck. So if anyone wants to deliver a package from a truck launching a drone, they have to pay Workhorse. Workhorse is in the running for a multi-billion-dollar contract with the US Postal Service. They also have 10% stake in Lordstown Motors, as the CEO for Lordstown, Steve Burns, used to work for Workhorse. In my opinion, a lot of people bought into this just because of the postal contract. So a lot of people are looking for the quick money. Well, there are some other catalysts, and the main reason why I bought shares of Workhorse is not because of this postal contract. It was because I liked their delivery from a truck patent. So a little ways back, I was, looking into drone delivery or just reading about drones and looking into things, just digging around in companies, and I stumbled upon this, not even knowing about this contract yet. But then as I looked further into this company, I realized these are a great company with a lot of long-term potential. So I scooped up some shares at a pretty decent price, and I'll share that with you in a second. But in the short term, you guys, this one is very volatile, as a lot of people got into this trying to make some quick money. So with the election coming up, we already have a lot of fear in the market. We see a sell-off after they announced that the postal contract's been postponed. But there are still some reasons to hold on to the stock, even if they don't get the postal contract, which if they don't, be ready for this to sell off. It could even drop half in price. Not saying this doesn't have great long-term potential or it's not a great company. It'll just take a little bit to climb back up to the share price that you're looking for if you got into this for the quick money. So on May 27th, I bought my first 100 shares of Workhorse after liking the drone delivery patent from a truck at $2.66.50. A couple days later, I purchased my second 100 shares for $2.47.50. At first, there was no volume. Nobody knew about this thing. I bought it for the long term, but then as the hype caught on, this thing started going crazy and I acquired a much larger position. Let's take a look at the chart. Here's the one-year chart on Workhorse. We can see it was trading sideways for a great deal of time. There's May 27th when I first started acquiring shares of this. Like I said, I loved their drone delivery patent. So when I acquired a much larger position when it started moving and I saw the volume build up and realized, hey, this thing's building up steam. So when it got all the way up to here so quickly, I jumped out of most of my position and I took most of my money off the table. Like I said, I was buying this thing for a drone delivery patent, looking years and years down the road. So when it moved this high, this quick, I had to jump out. So now we're looking at a downtrend towards the election. We got the postponement of the USPS contract. So I'm looking to jump back in on my position and, wait on the long-term drone delivery. So enough about the drone delivery. That's for the long term, and I think that's a great catalyst, and one of them of Workhorse. But in the short term, we're coming up on the election. There's a lot of fear in the market. I think we will see Workhorse sell off. It found a floor a little bit the other day, around 19 bucks, around there. We see some institutional investors start buying a lot of it, which is a great sign. We see companies like ARK Invest buying a bunch of this stock. I mean, these funds, they know something that we don't know, and they see some potential, they buy a bunch of this, then I pay attention to that. Short term, like I said, I believe we will sell off and continue a little bit of a downward sell-off towards the election, but after the election, I believe we can start seeing a U-shape, and everyone's going to start hyping up for the USPS contract again towards the end of the year, because they said they pushed it off till the end of the year. So we'll have swing traders jump back in. We'll have people trying to make the quick money off it once again. So short term, I'd expect to see a lot of volatility. But long term on this one, if you believe in this company, just stick with it, keep adding on the dips, and this is, in my opinion, a great company with a bright future. Let's take a look at a recent article and we'll see why Workhorse just acquired $200 million in funding. In my opinion, they're ramping up for something. Workhorse secures $200 million in financing from institutional lenders. I'll leave a link in the description, you guys, if you want to check this whole article out yourselves. I'm not going to read it word for word, but it goes on to say how they've acquired about $270 million in cash now. They've entered an agreement to sell 4.5 of their existing convertible notes with a holder for $70 million, and they also sold $200 million of 4% senior secured convertible notes due 2024. So they're sitting on a good pile of cash. And another sign, these institutional lenders, they're not going to lend Workhorse money unless they see something in the company. So to me, this is a good sign when we're building up all this cash pile to help out with, ramp up production and so on and so forth. But these institutional lenders got to see something in the company because they're not going to just hand out this money for nothing. Let's also not forget that Workhorse has 10% stake in Lordstown, and they get 1% equity of their first 200,000 vehicles sold. So once Lordstown merges and goes public through their SPAC that we're waiting on, if they're doing very well, then that's very good for Workhorse also. So the next thing we will cover is, do I think that Workhorse will get the USPS contract? Do I think that Workhorse will get the USPS contract? No. Just kidding. I think they'll at least get a piece of it. I do believe they deserve a large piece of it. I think they're far better than the competition. For one, they're an electric vehicle that, in my opinion, narrows it down right there. But this is purely a speculative play. If you're buying this just for the USPS contract, then please just be prepared for them to not get it, because anything can happen. Do not invest money you guys can't afford to lose. Do not get down and sell out of something. Do not let fear get the best of you. Do not sell out of something to chase it later. If you believe in a company, you guys, in these down times of the market, you should have cash on the side to buy more of it. These are sale prices going on. Here's the 1-year chart. That blue line there is about where I'm going to look for it to fall to start buying back in around. It's probably going to be around the high 17s. 17.5 to 18, around there. I think it does have a chance to fall there within the next few weeks before we start seeing an uptrend towards, the end of the year and the swing traders get back in and the hype train starts up for the USPS contract again. Well, that was my Workhorse outtake, a little bit of a short-term outlook and long-term outlook, and what I think of the USPS contract. So, you guys, there's a comment section down below. Do me a favor and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of Workhorse. Let me know if you're holding any Workhorse, or just let me know what your favorite stock is. Also, if you guys learned something, please smash that thumbs up button, because that's how this video gets shown to other people on YouTube, and we're a young channel trying to grow. So, help us out. Till next time, I'm Cullum Costello. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now hit that subscribe button, tap that thumbs up, and go out and get money.